Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Third Thoughts. This is episode 3, and this week we're going to be talking about the box office and movie releases, movies getting delayed. We're going to be talking about all of the superhero world news today, as well as our What If episode 1 spoiler review, and talking about the Suicide Squad spoiler review, and talking about our DCEU tier list since we haven't done one yet together. But without wasting more time, I want to get started right away because this week has been absolutely insane for movie delays. And just to talk about movies getting delayed, the most recent one to when we're recording this Friday. Yesterday, Thursday, it was announced that Venom Let There Be Carnage has been pushed to October 14th. I have so much to talk about this, but Brantley, what do you think this means for the future of not only Sony movies, but just movies in general?
I think it's definitely scary. I think a lot of people have talked about how Shang-Chi and Free Guy are gonna these upcoming movies are really gonna be kind of the deciding factor, the big real test to see where movies gonna go heading forward for the rest of this year. So I think even though yes, Venom only got moved back by a few weeks, I think that there's still a chance it could get pushed back even again if things aren't looking too good. Because Sony really wants to maximize the amount of money that they can make off of this movie. I don't think it's gonna make obviously as much as the first one, because of the pandemic or whatever, but they still probably want to make the most money possible. So it's scary. It's not looking good. COVID's in a bad place right now. So I could definitely see it getting pushed back again, and also films such as No Way Home and stuff like that getting pushed back as well, because it's not looking the best right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, dude. Overall, it's just not looking good for movies in general, I guess. Not even just for superhero movies. For example, No Time to Die could get put on dual release. Now that MGM's bought out by Amazon, that's even that. There's a higher potential for that now. It could be dual release if they want to keep the release date. Dude, I'm happy that it could possibly get delayed just so it can perform better in the box office since it's not dual release. But overall, I still think it's not the best. I think one indicating factor for this is the Suicide Squad's box office numbers. On a technical level, it is a flop, but looking at all the factors, to me, it's not really a flop. It should have done a little better at least, but technically it's still not a flop because the first thing going against it is it being rated R. That's probably the biggest factor, even if we're not looking at a pandemic box office. The rated R factor, it really affects the movie, but obviously the biggest one is the Delta variant. The time we're recording this video, guys, I'm actually tested positive for COVID, and I've been so safe about it. I've been going to the movies, but I've still been wearing a mask. I'm fully vaccinated. So just imagine people who aren't fully vaccinated, who don't wear their masks. And also just imagine people that don't feel safe going out in general, even if they are fully vaccinated or fully masked. There's, I think, a statistic going around that I think there's a 14% decrease in a new poll where people talked about if they were safe going back to theaters or not after the Suicide Squad release and all of the box office investigations. I think this is one of the biggest reasons why Venom 2 got pushed. Also, about an hour before it officially got pushed, there were rumors going around from Deadline, and that's one of the most reliable sources in all of Hollywood about movies and stuff. They literally said they're debating between January and October. January is an absolutely insane time because I completely forgot, but Morbius is supposed to come out January 22nd or 28th or something like that. If Venom Let There Be Carnage got pushed, honestly, I'm thinking Morbius could get swapped with it if it got pushed all the way to January. What do you think of potentially it moving to January? That's insane to me.
Yeah, I think it's crazy, but it's not too far out of the realm of possibility, especially, so many delays. This is very unpredictable right now. Every time I go on Twitter, I don't know what I'm going to see. Is something get delayed or something crazy. So it's hard because as a fan, obviously you want to see these movies as quickly as possible, but at the same time you can understand where the business aspect of it. So I think obviously we'll get to see these movies eventually. Of course, I want to see some more than others, faster than others, but hopefully this just all gets better soon. We can go back to watching these movies.
Yeah, overall, I'm just hoping that Shang-Chi really puts a lot of people back into theaters. I hope it takes people in, but we were talking about this earlier, Briley. I want you to explain to people why Shang-Chi has all everything stacked against it. You talked about this really well. You explained it really well. Yeah. Give the audience a little explanation about that.
Yeah, so for me, I just Shang-Chi's in a really bad position. I think number one, obviously COVID, and number two, I think the main part people are missing kind of the character, the property and the IP. He's not a very popular person. So he's a person that's not really on busting seats. I think you could risk a Spider-Man or a Batman, something like that, movie with those high-profile characters is all going to get a lot more like attention. People probably even risk going out during COVID to see those kinds of movies. But I mean, I don't think that general audience really knows who Shang-Chi is. He hasn't been in a previous MCU film, so people aren't really familiar with him at all. So I just think that's the second biggest factor that's really going to affect him, obviously on top of COVID. So yeah, and of course the things going on in China right now. Do we know the status of the movie even in China?
I think it's still releasing in China. I think it's re-edited.
Okay.
But I don't think it's for what's it called? I don't think it's for like them not liking it and stuff. I don't think that's the reason. I think it's just the magic stuff, but I don't know really the details of it. But yeah, it's not looking good for Shang-Chi. My hope is that it's kind of a situation like Doctor Strange was, where it wasn't a really hype movie at first, but after it got released, everyone loved it and then went to theaters. So I'm really hoping this is the case because that was the first real like magic movie in the MCU, you know? And this one's like the first like martial arts movie in the MCU. So it could really attract different viewers. For example, the magic side of the MCU attracts different viewers than just a regular action or even like the cosmic stuff. And then maybe martial arts brings a whole other audience. People who love like older martial arts movies, they get into the MCU because of this movie. Hopefully that's the case. But kind of shifting gears to the biggest question we all have after Venom 2's delay is Spider-Man No Way Home. This is, if you guys want to check out my full video, you can check the first link. I mean, not the first, but the link in the description down below. I broke down the entire delay and all that kind of stuff. But overall, I think No Way Home, the latest I was thinking at first it could get delayed is February. The reason for this is because Multiverse of Madness comes out in March, and I'm honestly fine with it getting delayed to February, just so we kind of get like them back to back. Like I don't know, I would rather have it back to back with Multiverse of Madness than like Eternals, you know? Like I don't know, like that's just I mean it's story preference, but people are saying it could potentially get delayed to next summer. What are your thoughts on that, bro?
I mean, I can see it. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, what Homecoming and Far From Home both dropped during the summer, right? So, I mean, they could keep up that trend. Oh man, it sucks, man, because No Way Home is like probably the most anticipated superhero movie of this year. So to have it get delayed again would be tough, but I mean, definitely understandable. But I can see that summer date kind of keeping the trend going, just have the entire trilogy all drop in the summer. Man, that's almost a year, man. Like that would really suck, but.
No, bro, but the only thing is, I don't understand it though. How would they do that? Because the story ties directly into Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we don't like. I don't know. It's tough because I guess we don't know to the extent, and we know Marvel has recently on the shows they've cut stuff out, edited things differently. So I mean, they could kind of modify maybe. I don't know. It's tough.
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't really know what they're gonna do. Like, it's just I think it gets complicated, especially with the story stuff. I don't think it would be anything that's like 1,000,000% necessary, though. I guess like to the story, like it's probably important, but also if it's the whole multiverse thing, then that's gonna be really weird if it gets pushed like all the way back. Like if it's what if the rumors are true and Tom Holland Spider-Man sets off the multiverse in the movie, like with the like bringing like freeing the villains from jail and stuff, and they only get there because of the multiverse. That would be weird to see after Multiverse of Madness, but I guess we'll see then. I mean, that's basically it for box office movie release news. It's been, by the way, confirmed that Shang-Chi is going to be a theater-only release. I forgot to mention this earlier, but I do want to bring it up because I had this massive theory going around that Marvel was just super unsure. Because the reason this is because 3 weeks ago when we got like our official trailer for Shang-Chi or whatever it was, it said only in theaters or exclusively in theaters, September 3rd or 4th, whatever. But in the most recent TV spots, it's been saying in theaters, September 3rd or September 4th, whatever date it is. Overall, I like was really skeptical when I saw this. I was like, oh God, it's gonna happen again. But they probably like did some bigger compensation now for the actors so they don't get sued and stuff like Scarlett Johansson. But I do think that it was a possibility. I did think it was a possibility. Obviously, it's not now. We had it confirmed yesterday by one of the chairmen at Disney that it's going to be a theater only release. But yeah, that's basically it for the box office movie release stuff. Now we're going to move on to talk about more of the news for this week. In previous episodes, we've never actually done this, but we're going to try to start talking about weekly news, some more important stuff that's happened in the week about Marvel stuff. So, Brantley, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so first thing on the slate is James Gunn. Of course, he's coming off the hype of the amazing Suicide Squad film that we'll get to later. But of course, he has upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The first two are very highly acclaimed films. So very excited for this one. And of course, people are speculating about character deaths. He's talked about Rocket. He's talked about Drax. I think this is Bautista's last film as Drax. So at least as of now. So I'm just, what do you think? Like, what do you think's gonna happen regarding that? Is there any character deaths that you're expecting to happen?
I'm mostly expecting Rocket just because, in my heart, I'm expecting Rocket just because Gunn said this movie's telling Rocket's story. So I think that is that's a big indicator. Like, he literally said he wants to finish off Rocket's story. Like, I think that was his exact quote. Like, I want to finish off Rocket's story. Sounds like he's going to kill off Rocket. Also, the logo is the color of Rocket. That's another Easter egg that we found in a bunch of other titles that he's killed off other people. But I think Bautista's last movie, like this being Bautista's last movie, that's also another big hint. But the headline that I read on comicbook.com, so this is comicbook.com I'm going off of, the headline said James Gunn teased major deaths with an S. So, bro, Drax and Rocket, honestly, that would be like a perfect redemption movie, like for both of them. If he killed both of them off. But also, those are the only two I can actually see getting killed off. They're not going to kill Star-Lord. I think he's safe. Also, Gamora's also died already. Drax and Rocket are the only ones left. So I rest my case. What do you think, bro?
Well, I know the one thing I think even Bautista answered, had said something about this on Twitter because someone asked him, I guess, what would they do regarding Drax's arc since Thanos is dead? That was his whole motivation of his arc. Now that Thanos is gone, I guess where would his character really go? That was his sole motivation was hunting down Thanos or whatever. So I do think it will be interesting to see how they what direction Gunn takes Drax's arc in this next movie since that kind of core motivation is gone. So I am interested to see what's gonna happen there. But
they never really capitalized off of that arc. I know Bautista has been very vocal about this. But in general, even in I think more Guardians 1, just because they were setting up so much of the Infinity Stone stuff. But in Volume 2, it just felt like he was there as a brute character, which I enjoyed in the moment. But overall, I don't think that it's necessary to his character in the MCU because I still love his character. I think he's done dirty in the MCU, but I still love the character we have. So I still think they can make it work, but I don't know. I don't really know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Drax definitely I like him, but I think he has been pretty underused. I think he was somewhat wasted in the MCU.
Yeah.
At least so far. Because I think you could have done a lot there, especially involving him more within the Infinity Saga, since his first motivation was hunting down Thanos and stuff. So I'm still excited. Of course, Gunn, just he's killing the game. Hasn't missed so far, in my opinion. So Guardians 3 is definitely going to be one of my most anticipated Marvel films. So moving on, Ryan Reynolds says that there's a 70% chance that Deadpool 3 will start filming next year. Of course, we've had some teasers of him in the MCU. We had a little Free Guy ad with Taika Waititi as Korg, and that was really funny. So I'm super excited. I know a lot of people have been waiting to see Deadpool in the MCU since the Fox merger. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this Deadpool 3 news?
Bro, I love the Korg trailer reaction. I love Ryan Reynolds. Dude, honestly, every time Ryan Reynolds plays a character, I just feel like he's playing Deadpool now. Everything feels like the same character. Oh yeah, bro, did you see the Free Guy clip where it's the guy named Dude and it's basically buff Ryan Reynolds and there's a little intro for him in the movie. I just saw a clip of this on YouTube. I haven't gotten the chance to see the movie yet, but basically he's looking at the Deadpool suit because he doesn't fit in it, and it's in the movie. It's literally in the movie, and he's reminiscing on his past as being able to wear the Deadpool costume. He doesn't fit on it anymore because he's so buff.
I gotta watch Free Guy.
Dude, apparently it's a really good. People are calling it the best video game movie of all time. That's what a lot of people are claiming it as. But For Deadpool 3, I'm excited, man. How could you not be excited? Like, Deadpool 1, in my opinion, is one of my favorite rated R movies of all time, like in general, not just superhero movies. It's one of my favorite rated R movies of all time. It was one of my favorite superhero movies of all time as well. I love comedy movies and I love superhero movies, and Deadpool was like the exact amount of seriousness and comedy that you need for a Ryan Reynolds movie. It's by far Ryan Reynolds' best movie. Like, I don't think that's debatable. Also, I think it's his best performance because he is Deadpool. Like, there's no one else. But overall, I love Ryan Reynolds. I love Deadpool. I can't wait to see Deadpool 3. I'm excited that they're making a lot of progress on it because I heard that there was a lot of issues going on about it, like right when the Fox merger happened, because Fox was already planning on doing a Deadpool 3, and then when they did the Fox merger, everything was put aside for Deadpool. So I'm just excited that they're making progress on it and everything's moving forward. But yeah, what do you think of that?
I'm definitely excited. Still a little nervous, of course, if this is gonna be an MCU and whatnot. But I definitely think the MCU is definitely, at least phase 4, they are kind of pushing the boundaries a bit more, becoming a bit more risky in certain ways. So I think that they're kind of going in the right direction. I think that the Deadpool 3 will work in the MCU once it releases. So moving on, still talking about the Marvel news. The Marvels has started filming. Of course, we know this is a highly anticipated film. Brie Larson coming back as Captain Marvel, or Miss Marvel, possibly Blue Marvel, maybe. Of course, you have Monica Rambeau. As Photon in the film. How are you feeling about the Marvels, man?
Bro, the Marvels, okay, as grandiose as my hate is for the first Captain Marvel movie, I'm so hyped for this one, dude. Like, I could not be more excited. Like, this is honestly, it's like top. It's a very okay. I'm not gonna say it's like a top 5 anticipated movie, but it's still like super high. Just the potential of seeing Blue Marvel, right? That's number one. Monica Rambeau was written so well in WandaVision, right? Photon, she's gonna be absolutely insane. Also, the fact that Miss Marvel is probably gonna be in it. Well, she is in it, actually. Sorry, she is in it. Her name is her power is literally in the logos. And then us being able to see Captain Marvel, but she can always be written better. Marvel has changed their characters before. I think this will be the case. I'm excited for this one. I just want to I do want to point this out. Okay, Captain Marvel is growing on me. I still don't think it's the best movie, but I think the character was just done dirty because of the. Okay, also, never mind, I take this back. Okay, if the movie was released after Infinity War or Endgame, I still don't think it would have been that good. Like, if it was the same exact movie but released afterwards, I don't think it would have been like crazy good either. The only time I could have seen it being like valid, I guess, is a Phase 1 movie. But even then, I only think it would be valid because our standards were a lot lower back then. But other than that, I don't really see that movie being good. But I also do want to say, I want to bring this up. I wrote this down on the notes because I did want to bring up that I had a like idea one day about how they could have introduced Captain Marvel into the MCU, and I did want to bring it up while we're talking about this. I was thinking, bro, what if they just introduced her in the post-credit scene of Infinity War, right? Like they did the pager thing. So at the end of Infinity War, we have the pager post-credit scene, right? And then at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, you have the Quantum Realm one. We cut out the ant playing the drums thing. That was stupid, right? So we only have the post-credit scene of them getting snapped, and then either you can just completely cut out the thing where she's like, "Oh, where's Fury?" Right? You can completely cut that out. But if you really want to keep it in, you can put it in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that'll be the teaser for Endgame. Because remember, Captain Marvel had that teaser for Endgame where we saw Chris Evans with the beard, Scarlett Johansson with the blonde hair. That's when we first saw them, right?
Oh,
so you can put that at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, since we don't have Captain Marvel at all. And then Avengers Endgame just starts with Carol like standing next to Thor, and he just pulls the hammer and he says, "I like this one." That would be so badass. And that's like all we see of her. And then listen. That's all we see of her. And then we see her being cocky and everything, and I'm fine with that. But the fact that we already saw her in Captain Marvel, and she was already being cocky, and we knew nothing else about her, and her story was so stupid and boringly written, and then she's being cocky, that was annoying. But if she was cocky in only Avengers Endgame in the beginning, without us even knowing her powers, we would spend the whole movie being like, "Who is this lady? What can she like? What is so insane about her that she thinks she can take Thanos on?" She literally said, "Where's Thanos?" Like she literally was like, "Where's Thanos?" Like, "I'll go get him myself." And then at the end of the movie, she comes in and just destroys the ship and takes a whole ass punch from Thanos. That would be the most insane intro to the character. And I would very happily have Captain Marvel as the first movie of Phase 4, even though it's not the best. I think I would have way more respect for the character at least.
But yeah, like overall, I'm pretty excited for the Marvels. Me myself, I'm not too big of a fan of Captain Marvel as a movie, just like you. So, but I still think that they have a lot of potential. Of course, with the introduction of Blue Marvel, if that happens, I'm really excited to see. And of course, yeah, WandaVision did a great job of developing Monica's character, and I'm excited to see her as well. Excited to see the little tension between her and Captain Marvel. Hopefully, that gets addressed in the movie as well. And of course, I think the villain, I forgot his name. He's like super, super powerful. And along, I think we get like the Scroll Queen, stuff like that. So there's a lot of exciting elements that we've seen so far that I'm excited for. So moving on, this as of today, as this recording this morning, we got a reveal of one of my favorite shows, one of my most anticipated shows on Disney Plus. The main character, Moon Knight, the Moon Knight show. We've seen a possible sneak peek of his suit through some leaked footage. I've seen the picture. You've seen the picture. What are your thoughts on this possible Moon Knight leak?
I'm actually gonna go ahead and do us all a favor and just put it up here. All right, can you guys see? Can you see this, Bradley?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, this is basically what we saw today. It's pretty fire in my opinion. I think it's pretty sick looking. So basically, this is the suit as of now that we know of. Honestly, looking at it right now, like it looks very sleek. I don't know, like I think it's just the chest piece that is really like that's really big. That's the only thing I really noticed that's like super bulky. But other than that, I really love this suit. One thing I didn't notice before was like he has like this little arrow thing on his like his forehead, like it goes down, and the Moon Knight logo is right there. Also, there's like a lot of depth between his eye and the other piece. It's just I like the look of this because it's very practical looking. Like it doesn't look like it's like super like a super basic superhero costume where it's like a hard shell on top of a little bit of fabric, like a little vest, like something like that. Like I like it because it looks really real and tangible to me. Maybe that's the main reason I like it. But what are your thoughts on the costume overall, bro?
I'm gonna put that when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge fan. Like I think it looks cool. I really like the glowing eyes, stuff like that. But I wanted like more of kind of like I was thinking more of like kind of a Batman-esque kind of suit. Because I mean, I know people get mad, but I mean, he kind of is like just the Batman counterpart of like, but for Marvel. So I was thinking more of like kind of like just like the pure clean white, and it's like kind of what we got was kind of less like rough and like jagged looking. But I mean, the more I look at it, like I still dig the suit. I think it looks pretty cool. Like I like the approach that they went with it. Of course, like I said earlier, like the glowing eyes are really dope, and he looks pretty menacing, bro. I can't lie. Like, he looks pretty scary. Like you saw this guy like being something up or something, or if you're a criminal, like I would not mess with this guy. So they definitely have like the intimidation part of it. And again, just Moon Knight, I can't wait to get a trailer, poster, anything. This show is my most anticipated show for Marvel, like right now. So I just can't wait for it. It's gonna be amazing.
Bro, we're getting a hallway fight scene or something like that, bro.
Bro, I don't know what
looks like it. I honestly don't have many other thoughts about the Moon Knight costume. Like Bradley said, the glowing eyes are super dope. The logo's cool on his chest. Overall, I just can't wait to see more of it. Like Bradley said, it's just really cool. Honestly, like it's nice they finally have something for Moon Knight. Like it feels like it's like we have nothing at all, but I mean it's here now. I'm excited. But yeah, what else, Bradley?
Yeah. So speaking of Moon Knight, there's actually a rumor going around that this might be shown, or whatever this footage is, or this clip might be shown at the Disney Plus Day happening November 12th. So apparently this day is going to be Disney showing off new things from, of course, Disney and Marvel, Star Wars, and things like that. Kind of like the Investigator that happened last year. And it's going to be the Disney Plus Day happening November 12th. So what are your thoughts on that? What do you think that could possibly be shown or announced at this new Disney event?
Yeah, so since it's November 12th, I think we'll be getting a final trailer for Hawkeye. I think that's one thing that we'll probably get, or like some like some like big video for it or something like that. Or like the making of or something regarding Hawkeye, like something crazy big regarding Hawkeye, just to get fans even more hyped for it. I think we'll get a trailer for Miss Marvel, because that's the first show of 2022. I think we'll get potentially a teaser for She-Hulk, depending on how far along there, because we already have set photos of it. There's already so much stuff going on with the show, so I think we'll probably get a teaser for that. Moon Knight, we don't know when it's releasing, but if I'm not mistaken, it's after She-Hulk, so we could potentially get photos, hoping for concept art at the least, but at the most, I would love even like a 12-second teaser of just a costume, maybe a big costume reveal video, something like that. Maybe even a costume reveal for like a villain, or like kind of like a Black Adam thing where they just like commentated over the art. That would be super cool to see. Just honestly, anything official regarding Moon Knight, I would love to see. But yeah, what do you want to see from Disney Plus then?
Definitely, like you said, some Moon Knight related. It's weird. I feel like I'm 100% sure on the stats of both shows, but I feel like Moon Knight is like farther ahead than She-Hulk. But She-Hulk is supposed to come out before Moon Knight. But I feel like Moon Knight might be farther ahead, like in the production process. I'm not 100% sure on that. But so with that being said, of course, I'm super excited. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we could see definitely a She-Hulk teaser, something along those lines. Definitely a Miss Marvel trailer, and of course, we have Hawkeye dropping the same month, something related to that. Yeah, that's really all I can think of. Maybe like this might be got a stretch, like maybe something for Multiverse of Master or Love and Thunder, possibly. I don't know what exactly, but maybe something related. But that was kind of a stretch.
That's Disney Plus though. It's Disney Plus Day though.
Oh, Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Probably
I don't think it's Investor Day specifically. They have. There might be an Investor Day in December again, but I don't know honestly. But they didn't really show anything at the Investor Day for the shows. Like they show like the title, like the official titles for all the shows that we didn't all have before, and then they showed like the castings. Like that's basically all they showed at Investor Day last year. So yeah, we might get some stuff at Investor Day, but I don't even know really. But moving on, guys. Now we're gonna talk about probably my most anticipated segment of this week's episode, What If Episode 1 review. Now we're going to be talking full spoilers for this week's episode. So if you guys haven't already seen What If, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and come back later. But Brantley, what are some of your spoiler thoughts overall?
I thought it was okay. I definitely wasn't expecting like something insane. But I mean, I thought it could have been better. I mean, in my opinion, it kind of just felt a little like all over the place, in my opinion. Like, if it kind of felt like hopping, it felt like a long like montage, just with like little story beats in there. Like we just would come watching Peggy do stuff, which was cool and dope to see, but it just didn't really feel like that like cohesive in my opinion. But overall, it felt. I mean, it was fun to watch. I think that most of the show is going to be kind of similar to this, kind of just fun things for the most part. I think we're going to have more serious episodes and stuff like that. It's going to tie in to a bigger story arc. But I mean, this is a good first episode in my opinion. Like it was a nice starter. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was kind of, it was just but I thought it was pretty enjoyable for the most part, in my opinion.
Yeah, when you're talking about like the action thing, honestly, I have to agree. I just felt like it was like it felt like the best moments of Captain America: The First Avenger, but with Peggy, obviously. But one thing I really did love about the episode, which I didn't really mention a lot in my review, if you guys want to check it out, link in the description down below, but I really did love the way they used the side characters. I loved the way they made jokes with them and kind of like hinting towards things you already know. Like Bucky said, "You almost ripped my arm off." Steve said a bunch of stuff about, the thing with the dance, they mentioned that a little too much. I'm gonna be honest. Like they knew we were gonna get the joke, but they mentioned the dance like 5 or 6 times. But overall, I did love the side characters. Also, what's his name? Howard Stark, he was also great. I will say Bucky Barnes' voice acting, Sebastian Stan, very energetic man, It was a little too much for the character, I think. Other than that, I thought everyone was great. I know that I wanted to speak on this really quick, but I know that there's a lot of cast members not coming back to voice the characters that they have in their roles. For me, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of this on TikTok, and a lot of people in my TikTok comment section are asking about this, but the only reason I think that Marvel isn't asking all of the actors to come back is because a lot of them need a lot of money. A lot of them are like just okay. Let me also say this. There's a lot of people saying that, oh, they're just like not dedicated to their role. Well, Robert Downey Jr., guys, he's not going to come back for this role. He might come back to play a hologram in like 4 or 5 years, but he's not coming back to voice his character for a week. And also, Marvel's got to pay him millions and millions, and they're probably going to pay him half the budget for the show just to get him to voice one character for like 1.5, maybe 2 episodes. So why would they waste their money on that? But then people will bring up the Dave Bautista thing, where Dave Bautista said he wasn't contacted by Disney. And I know I'm acting like a Disney bootlicker when I say this, like I was when I was talking about the Scarlett Johansson suing thing. But also, Disney did say they reach out to every actor or their agent, either one. And Dave Bautista said he hadn't been reached out to. So either his agent declined or Disney's lying. I'm not going to say what is what. And Dave Bautista said he would have loved to play him, but it also could have been a pay thing. I don't think we can really pinpoint it. We know that Elizabeth Olsen, Tom Holland, Chris Evans, Brie Larson, and Tony Stark are all confirmed to not be back. I don't know the exact list, but those are the top 5 that I've heard about. But overall, Bradley, what did you think of like the fact that these people aren't coming back? Do you think it's a red flag? Because I don't.
Nah, personally, I don't. Because honestly, I feel like also, I think it's nice to have actual real like voice actors voice like acting characters. I feel like, I mean, that's their talent. Like, I feel like, yeah, obviously actors are great and whatever, but honestly, for some actors, it might not even translate that well. Voice acting, live action to do it. Yeah, like, so yeah, stuff like that. Like we've seen it before. Like for example, I love Zendaya, right? Zendaya, she's amazing, right? But Space Jam, her as Lola Bunny, bro, that was I was not feeling it. It was just so awkward. It was weird, and yeah. So just sometimes it's just better to have real voice actors. I know for the voice actor for this episode that played Steve, he was the actor that played Spider-Man in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. Really talented guy, and I think he did a pretty good job in this episode. So I think it's not bad. He sounded like Chris Evans to me, honestly. Like he'd sound like fairly similar. So I mean, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal to me personally.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really care. Like, also, I don't see their face, so why does it matter? Also, give voice actors a job. Like, they do the same work as actors. It's just they're in a different field of the same overall field. So, like, give them a chance. Come on. But yeah, honestly, I don't have much else to say about What If. If you guys want to check out my spoiler-free review, you can check it out. Link in the description down below. Bradley, do you have any final thoughts? Or actually, what are you expecting from next week's episode? Let's talk about that really quick because next week's episode is going to be Black Panther or T'Challa as Star-Lord. So what are your expectations for that?
And that's going to be a tough one to watch, man. Chadwick's last role, man, that's going to be a hard one. But I think it's going to be great. I've heard from the reviews I saw, it seemed like he had a lot of fun doing it. And I'm super excited to see it. Cause it seemed like the whole, he's in the promotion art, stuff like that, like with him and Peggy. So I think that's going to be a whole, like, with Guardians of like the multiverse thing. He's gonna be part of that group or whatever. So I think this could be an episode that ties into like the overall bigger plot line, maybe that this show has, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty excited. I think it's gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah, overall, I think that all the episodes have a lot of potential. I just think this was like, I've said this a million times all over social media, but I just think this was the episode 1, the one that we got. I thought it was the worst possible way to start it off, but story-wise, it kind of makes sense because Captain Carter is the main character in What If, whether you like it or not, she is, and she's going to be like interacting with all the other characters. She's rumored to come in live action in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. So she's the main character. It was a good episode to introduce her character. I already love her. Like she's literally badass. But overall, I still think that it was a bad episode story-wise to start off with. But I'm still hopeful. I thought the animation was phenomenal. The action was phenomenal. They really took advantage of this animated budget where they can do like thousands of explosions every second instead of just doing big action set pieces but having to limit some of them. Like they're really taking advantage of it. And I can't wait to see it. My most anticipated episode is probably that we know of so far is probably Ultron succeeding, getting Vision's body, and then getting the Infinity Stones. Is that one yours as well?
Yeah, I think it's either that is that same one as like Ultron, like versus like Black Widow or whatever. Is that the same?
I don't think so. I'm not sure.
I think there's an episode like that where it's like Black Widow's like the only like hero left or something like that. That's probably my most anticipated one. I think it involves Ultron too, something like that. I think I heard.
Dude, that sounds nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also one where it's like, what if everyone was together during Infinity War? I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This one says that it was a rumor, at least in June, that this episode is going to involve Black Widow and Ultron intersect in the same episode, as Natasha Romanoff finds herself as one of the last survivors of her reality, and it's like basically a post-apocalyptic like event, and it involves Ultron that was caused by Ultron. So now she's trying to like defend herself. I think that could be pretty interesting. But I don't know. I just looked it up, and apparently it was cut. I guess it's some YouTube video. I don't know how accurate this is. 4 days ago, that it was cut.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, so other than that, honestly, I would say MCU Zombies just because I've always been excited to see that. But yeah, overall, I think MCU Zombies is going to be the most interesting one. Like looking,
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one a lot too. But yeah, guys, that's basically it for What If. We'll be talking about What If every single week, by the way. So if you guys want to hear our spoiler reviews, I do spoiler-free reviews every single Wednesday morning right after the episode drops. But we're going to be doing spoiler reviews here on the podcast every week. And now we're going to finally talk about the Suicide Squad. The reason we didn't do this last week was because we recorded the episode on Monday. We always record it on Fridays. That's the plan, is just so that we can get through the whole week of news and then talk about everything at the very end and then upload it Sunday or Monday, whatever. But last week we didn't get to because I was out of town, and we wanted to get an episode out no matter what. And so we just decided to record it early. We didn't have the chance to record later. So sadly, we didn't get to do a Suicide Squad spoiler review. If you want to check out my spoiler-free review, it is in the description down below. But this movie, I love it. Okay. We're going to just, I wrote down stuff I wanted to talk about, but I left the list. I don't have the list with me right now, but I guess we can talk. The first thing I kind of want to talk about is just characters. So, Brantley, I'm just going to ask you, who was your favorite character in the movie?
Favorite? It's tough. I think for me in the film, honestly, it's probably Peacemaker.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. He was too good. Either Peacemaker or Bloodsport. They were both awesome. Yeah. And it was they were just like, you can tell they were having so much fun. Idris and John Cena, they were having so much fun in those roles. Even you know the whole cast, even Margot Harley, of course, she's getting better and better each movie that she's in. I think she's a great cast. I honestly can't see anyone else playing that role. She's really just made that like her own. So the whole entire cast was awesome. Like from Ratcatcher to King Shark, like they were all amazing. It was just, the whole cast was just awesome.
Yeah. This one actually made me really excited for Peacemaker. Peacemaker's like, he wasn't necessarily a surprise character for me, but I think the arc that they made with this character, and by the way, this is a spoiler review if you guys don't know, so if you haven't already seen the movie, just please leave, because I'm gonna spoil something really big right now. So basically, Peacemaker dies, Rick Flag dies, Peacemaker comes back alive. So Peacemaker's arc is just, it's so like Homelander-esque, and I love it because it's not so extreme to where it's like annoying, you know? Like sometimes Homelander, like it just feels like a repeat of, like, it just feels like every time it's the same thing. Like he wants peace, he does too much, but this one really felt natural to me, and I think that's why I liked it a lot. Also because Rick Flag was just as patriotic as Peacemaker, but Peacemaker still killed him because he was, quote, he felt like he was more patriotic, you know? And then also that line from Rick Flag, Peacemaker, what a joke. That hit so hard. Like that was so good. Yeah. But yeah, I will say Bloodsport was a phenomenal character. Harley Quinn, she's probably my favorite character that returned. I think I'll take her over Rick Flag and Boomerang, obviously. But overall, I think Harley was the biggest issue in this movie. Not because of her character itself. Like the character was perfect. Yeah, awesome. But I just think that overall, she didn't feel like she belonged in the movie, really. Barely, you can talk more about this, actually.
Yeah, this is something that we had talked about before the podcast. But yeah, I just feel like she was kind of out of place. She kind of like her plot and storyline was kind of, she wasn't really even with the team for like most of the movie. She was off her own thing. And it was fun to watch. Of course, seeing Margot was always fun. But I'd say overall, the movie, it just kind of felt like it just didn't really fit. And I feel like she probably could have been incorporated a different way, but or not just probably been there at all. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, of course, I love seeing her, but it's just she just didn't really feel like she just didn't fit within the movie, in my opinion, at least for majority of the runtime. But overall, of course, Margot Harley, I really want to see her again. I think I noticed that she said that she's gonna take a break for a little while from doing the role, but I hope she comes back in some more parts because she is awesome as Harley. And it's honestly crazy. I saw this a few days ago. Like I was gonna say that the DCEU, like Harley like could possibly be like the face of the DCU like right now, at least in terms of like popularity wise. Like she's been in like the most movies so far, and people love her. She's recognizable. Like even my like little sister knows who's Harley Quinn is. Like it's crazy. So it's kind of crazy how she's been built up as somewhat of one of the main faces of this universe. I really want to see more of her. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly super excited to see what they do with the future of Harley Quinn because going into this movie, I really felt like Harley Quinn was the only like safe character. Like, because if we think about it, like no one else really felt like really like the DC really needed them, I guess you could say. So that's kind of why I like this movie, but also it kind of sucked that Harley Quinn always felt safe. Not that I wanted her to die, but I still want that looming threat, you know? Like I feel like that's something you really need with a lot of characters. But overall, I will say I really did love the movie. Brilliant. What's your rating for it, by the way?
Rating? I feel like I'm at like a 9 out of 10. I mean, in my opinion, you know, this is cliche, but it's probably my favorite DC movie since The Dark Knight. I can't think of anything else I like more from them since then. It's just awesome, and yeah, DC really they really did good by this movie by choosing James Gunn. So
yeah, and also yeah, I have the same rating for him, 9 out of 10. I think it's a phenomenal movie. The literally only gripe is that like it just didn't feel like Harley Quinn was necessary. Yet they still tried to make her play such an integral role, I guess. Oh shoot. Wait, one second. Yeah, okay. So my only gripe with this movie definitely had to be Harley Quinn, just because it didn't feel like she wasn't a bad character necessarily, but it always felt like she just kind of was out of place. Like I mentioned before, she felt like she was always safe, and that's one thing I didn't feel with any single other character. And I think that's the main reason why she kind of felt out of place. But overall, I had a really fun time with this movie. Like Billy said before, he gave this movie a 9 out of 10. I have it at a 9 out of 10 as well. And we also want to go ahead and do a DCEU movies tier list in this video. So yeah, we're going to be doing a tier list for all the DCEU movies. I haven't done a tier list yet. I did a tier list for the characters. I made a whole video on that. Again, you can check that out, link in the description down below. But yeah, so we're going to start off. We'll start off with stuff that we think is in the worst tier. Actually, Bradley, you want to shrink this down? We can shrink it down to like just S through D. You want to do that?
Yeah, that's probably better. Yeah, thanks for making sense.
All right, so yeah, S through D. Honestly, we can start off with like D tier movies. I think the first like easy option is Suicide Squad 2016.
Oh, yeah. That's easy.
Okay, so also we can give our quick thoughts on each movie. So I'll go first when I put it there, and then Bradley, you can go. So Suicide Squad 2016, bad movie, bad plot, bad everything. Overall, it's just horrible. The acting's also really mid, other than Amanda Waller and Harley Quinn. Rick Flagg's like all right. But other than that, it's all garbage. Also, way too many high tier characters because we all know that none of them can die, even though they're called the Suicide Squad. Brian, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, kind of same, especially that last point. Like the use of like the characters in there, just like the way they were used and the characters that were chosen. Yeah, they were always really high tier. Like Deadshot, Killer Croc. Like these people aren't gonna die. Like, they're not at that point in the DCU. So I think that just overall the movie is kind of just a train wreck. I know people are saying, release the air cut, whatever. I really don't care about the air cut, honestly. Like, I think people are trying to compare it like to the Stark situation. I don't think it's the exact same thing. I mean, they're similar, but it's a similar situation. But I don't think his cut is honestly going to be super, super different from what I've seen. Like the Snyder cut was like a drastic change. I think it's still going to be relatively like similar tone and stuff like that. So I really don't care too much about it. This movie was just like a dumpster fire. So
yeah. So yeah, next up is Aquaman. I'm gonna put this. I'm thinking B tier. What about you?
I'm thinking B. Yeah, the movie looks probably my second favorite, like best looking movie, like second favorite, like looking movie in the DCU.
Yeah.
Like, the movie looks awesome. Like the shots, the cinematography was awesome. And like the colors, the use of color was awesome too.
Yeah, movie's phenomenal. I'm gonna be honest. I actually really love the way they paced this movie in the first two acts, but then the third act, I think, just took it a little too far. I think it got drawn out a little too much. But overall, I'm actually really excited for Aquaman 2 because Black Manta has already become one of my favorite DCEU villains, and we've 15, 20 minutes. Like, I already love him so much. But yeah. Now, next up is Birds of Prey and the whatever it's called. Where do you want to put it?
In person, I think it's B tier. I think it's B. But
With Aquaman? Oh, yeah. I don't honestly. The movie was kind of forgettable, bro. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, I just thought it was so it was just fun. Like for me personally, it was just like.
Oh no. Okay, no. It's not okay. It's not that I think it's a bad movie. Like I think it's a great movie, but I just think that there's just like I don't know. I don't remember a lot from it. Like it's just forgettable to me. That's what I'm trying to say.
I see that, but for me, it's had like elements. I really like the tone of it. The characters are all fun, in my opinion. Best DCEU villain, in my opinion, so far. I think that. Hey, bro. Who else?
Bro, Zod?
Zod? No, bro. Black Mask wipes Zod, bro. I'm sorry.
What?
Black Mask is the best, in my opinion. He's my favorite DCEU villain so far.
Amanda Waller, low-key a better villain, bro.
I mean, I can see that. I can make the argument. Honestly, you can make an argument, but
Black Mask, Justice League Steppenwolf? No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, okay, yeah. Justice League. I think this one's okay. The thing is, yeah, it's a D tier. I was gonna try to like justify it for a C, just so you can put it above the Suicide Squad. But yeah, I think it's a D tier. What about you?
Honestly, I probably watch the Suicide Squad like before I can watch the Justice League. I probably watch that. If I had to pick, I would pick Suicide Squad with Justice League. Because honestly, Suicide Squad, it has like some tiny, small entertaining moments.
Bro. Wait, let's take a quick intermission. Denis Villeneuve talks Dune 2. I can't wait to shoot the second part, knowing that the next chapter Zendaya will be the protagonist of the story. Yes.
We're not that hopeful, bro. We still gotta wait for his box office numbers, dog.
Yes.
You still gotta get the money to even do it.
Oh my god. Dude, this is not taking a grown man cry. Okay, wait. Oh my god, dude.
All the viewers, bro. We gotta go see Dune.
Yeah, bro. Everyone watching this podcast, everyone listening to this podcast, go watch Dune this October 22nd. We need Dune 2. We need Denis Villeneuve to make a second movie with Zendaya being the protagonist. You love already, bro.
We saw probably
peak fiction. Peak fiction. I'll be real. It's already peak fiction. It hasn't even released, bro. Okay, moving on. We got to get back to this. But we're running out of time. We got to do this. Okay. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Okay. I was very bold when the movie came out. I said I was top 10 superhero movie of all time. It might be in the bottom of the top 10, maybe top 15, maybe top 20, but even in my spoiler review, when I watched back my spoiler review, it's about 22 minutes. If you haven't already seen it, I don't really think you need to sit through the whole 22 minutes because I'm going to tell you right here, it's not as good as I made it out to be after those 4 hours. I think I was just on a Zack Snyder high for all 4 hours, at least the last 3 hours of it. I'm going to go A tier. I think that's respectable.
I agree with A tier. I don't think it's really aged that well, but it's good.
Well, also because no one in their mother is going to watch this movie again.
Yeah, no. No one's watching this
thing. No one's watching the movie again, okay? Next up. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
What were you saying?
No, go ahead. I was going to move on, but you have something to say. Go.
Yeah, I think it's more about just like that moment in time. Like it was really cool. Like I think it's more of an experience. Like people fighting for a Snyder cut, it dropping, like that all together just made that like the movie like cool, like really good in the time. And the movie's not bad now. I think overall that context like made the movie a lot better than probably like what it is.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, moving on, Man of Steel. So, about this, guys. So I could be really, really mean and put it at a D tier, but I think C is respectable.
Yeah, I was gonna say C. I think it's
I don't really have many thoughts on this one actually. I'm planning on rewatching the DCEU at the after. I'm thinking like Black Adam or the Flash, whichever one like I think is better. I'm gonna probably go off of that just because I want to do like a tier list once a big one comes out, or like a full ranking after another big one comes out. So I'll probably wait until after, but I definitely want to rewatch Man of Steel. The second time I rewatched it, well, actually, the first time I watched it in general, I fell asleep like 30 minutes in. And then the second time I watched it, I fell asleep like an hour in. And then the third time I watched it, I finally got through it. I'm not the biggest fan. I don't think it's that good. I don't think it's the best written Superman at all. I think Tyler Hatchoke, the CW one, I think he's written better personally. It's just my opinion. Let me know yours in the comments down below. But Brian, what do you think of this movie?
Yeah, I just don't find it entertaining. I just find it pretty boring. Personally, I'm not a big fan of like the darker like Superman, like the Snyder went for. I understand that that's what he was trying to do. Personally, I wasn't too much of a fan of that. I kind of like more of like the lighthearted Superman. With still some serious moments, but like I just think he went a little too far with the dark aspects of it, and I wasn't a big fan. But overall, I think we had some cool moments. Like final fight. It's pretty cool. Henry Cavill, of course, has the look. Looked awesome in the movie. So I think it has some like redeemable qualities, but I don't think it's that great overall.
Yeah. All right. So next up is Shazam. Bradley actually, I don't think has seen this one.
I have. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You take it
so I'm gonna go easily. I'm gonna have to go S tier. I think it's a very low S tier. I think it's like borderline A tier. But I think it's a phenomenally done movie. Maybe it's because I the last time I rewatched it was like almost over a year ago now. So I haven't seen this one in a very, very long time, but as of now, low S tier. Actually, I'm gonna put high A tier. It's way above the Zack Snyder Justice League, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go high A tier just to be respectable. So my opinion is not invalid. The Suicide Squad, I think this is easily an S tier for both of us. Like, I don't want to talk about it too much. We've already talked about this movie, but really, like, it's just like. When I first came out of the theater watching this movie, I texted Bradley right away. And I was like, I don't know, in words, I don't know how to describe what I watched. And because I don't want to spoil what I watched before Bradley got to see it. So I did talk about it a little bit to him, and I didn't get to say that much, obviously, because it was spoiler free. But overall, I had a really fun time with it. And I don't know, I just thought it was an awesome movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. James Gunn, awesome.
Yeah, phenomenal. Yeah. Next up, Wonder Woman 1984. Bradley hasn't seen this one either.
I feel like half of it, I cut it off.
I'm gonna go C tier for this one. I actually think it's really fun. And I say this every single time I talk about the movie. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to anyone because I think there's just a small minority of people who really enjoy it. And by no means is it a phenomenal film. It's fun for me. That's kind of what I like about it. Overall, I'm a fan of the Wonder Woman character. Next up is Wonder Woman. For this one, I'm gonna have to go S tier personally.
Yes. I was thinking A. I think high.
I think it's a very low S, like borderline A.
Oh, actually,
I think it's a little above Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's the thing.
Okay, that's true.
And then BVS Ultimate Edition. I've never really been a fan of this movie. I think really what carries this movie for me is Wonder Woman's entrance. She's the best part of the movie, and she's in the movie for like 15, 20 minutes. So overall, I think this movie is pretty ass. What do you think of it, Bradley?
Yeah, this movie's not great. Just kind of like how you experienced the match through. I took it like 2 or 3 times to actually get through this entire thing when I tried to watch it. So yeah, it's probably D tier. I was trying to think of reasons to put it at C, but nah, it's probably D tier. Again, Zack Snyder, I just feel like he really just, Zack Snyder, like, I'm so happy, like, it's just, I was on hate train for so long. He frustrated me so much because, like, he had good elements in this movie, like, interesting elements, but I just feel like he just went too far with everything. But I feel like now he's kind of starting to find a better balance. Of course, like, Army of the Dead, stuff like that. Like, I'm starting to see kind of different styles of his directing, so I definitely like him a lot more now. But just early on, like, especially his DCU stuff, I just feel like he's went too far with like just everything. He's went all the way left with the darkness and the tone. I'm like, just calm it down a little bit. But yeah, I think Snyder since I've watched a few more of his movies and stuff like that, I've started to like him a lot more as a director. And I've seen kind of how he handles different kind of concepts and tones and stuff like that. So I think that overall I like him a lot more. But yeah, this movie, his old DCU stuff, is not for me personally.
But yeah, guys, that's it for this week's episode of Third Thoughts, episode 3. Next week, come back for episode 4, where we'll be talking about Marvel's What If episode 2 and all the other superhero news going on in the world. If you guys are new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.